Carter family, Carter gang. And I'm back with another one, man. Right? So, DC Baby Draco, shout out DC Baby Draco. You know what I'm saying? He said he the voice of the streets now, right? So, he dropped the exclusive yesterday on how 03 Greedo got backdoored by the Grape streets, which is his own hood. His own damn homies, right? His home damn homies backdoored him, slid on him, took the chain. Now, according to the dude who slid, who took, you know, Greedo, his whole chain, watch all that, his whole little setup, right? His whole little rapper rock star setup, right? Say he ain't feeding the hood no more. So they tired of, he ain't supporting like he used to. He ain't playing his part no more. Right? You a rapper, so of course, you know, you ain't sliding no more. So you got a different role. When you the rapper, you get took off front line. You supposed to be a general. You supposed to be calling shots. That money and power. You supposed to translate that money into power. And you got to feed the wolves. That's one thing you got to know. This gang life, you in the jungle. And you in the wolf pack. Or you in the lion's den. Right? You got to feed the pack. Whether you a wolf, lion, whatever you call yourself, you got to feed the pack. Or the pack gonna feed on you. And that's what happened. You know, Greedo should know. I mean, it's LA. LA known for the robbery. You know what I'm saying? LA being then pivoted from using this yistle, you know what I'm saying, to put in work for the set. They learned that this blick is a check if you point it at the right person, right? So LA is known for the robbery. Take your jewels. They got so many jewelry shops in LA that you could bust down the jewelry and all that, take it out of custom form and all that, make it a whole new, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of shops that'll bust it down for you or just buy it up off you, right? So 03 Greedo know this culture in LA, and you should know, you know, the rules, the laws of 48, the 48 laws to power, right? You gotta feed your pack. You got to feed the wolves. And he didn't feed the wolves. He ain't been feeding the wolves. So they had to book him. Now, people gonna say that this ain't over the allegations, right? The allegedly. And I do think the main motive of this was you ain't feeding the wolves no more. And will make it easier to even book you. I feel like them allegations kind of knock you down a notch. Right? People start speculating, your reputation drop, right? Your ranking get lowered, whether you know it or not, right? Once you get them type of allegations, it was suspect. Half the hood saying you was ratting, the other half saying, nah, you good. And right now, you can't say y'all booked them because the allegations, because people, the streets gonna be like, why y'all being in book dude then? Right? Why y'all being in book dude? So you gotta make it seem like, oh, he ain't feeding the wolves, and that's probably true too. But if you ain't got no smut on your name, no allegations whatsoever, this is less likely bound to happen. You more likely to have them goons on your side if your reputation right. Cause Grape Street is a big hood, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all something. Ain't no way you could feed the whole hood. Let me let y'all know that right now. Not especially not a hood as big as Grape Street. Right? So those you feeding gotta be those that's in power of the hood. Right? Gotta be those that got the influence that ain't gonna be touched and people gonna respect their word. Right? So if you get booked by the YN and somebody from the turf and it ain't no serious consequences about that, then you ain't got no backing of nobody in the hood that got the power. So the people who got the power and the influence that control and influence politics must wasn't getting their daily check. Right? Must wasn't getting their daily check. And it's kind of sad that the hood extort its own, right? So this is what's wrong with our culture. Greedo been in the game for years. He should have been able to pay his tab. He should be done giving handouts. I could see. Now, say if I'm a rapper, right, and I got the set. When I get on to get my first bag, I'm about to drop off bags to the homies. But y'all better make that flip. And ain't no allowance shit going on. And ain't no, oh, our pockets ain't being lined up by you in a minute, so what's happening? Nah, what you do with that last investment I gave you. So don't bird feed the homies. When you get the bag and you feed the homies, give them a chunk and say, nigga, you shouldn't have to ask me for nothing no more after this. Flip this, right? You go to the niggas who got the power in the hood, the influence, right? That's controlling the politics. And you drop them bags, and you drop the young hitters, the young YNs who putting in the work. You get them right too, right? So you get them right and tell them like, look, y'all the homies. I ain't gonna never leave y'all behind. But this bag I'm giving you, I'm giving this to you as a man and expect you to be a hustler. And you shouldn't have to come back to me no more. What you trying to do with it? What you trying to hustle? What are you trying to do? How much you need? How much you need to where you feel you on your feet and you going, right? I could give you the game and the tools, but is you gonna keep working? I could line you up and plug you in with any industry you want to tap in with, right? We can LLC this, LLC that, right? What you want to do, but it ain't no allowance thing gonna be going on to where, oh, I'm collecting my check from Greedo, I'm collecting my check from Nipsey, I'm collecting my check from, you know what I'm saying? Any rapper, right? I'm collecting my check monthly from the homie because he obligated to do that because he's a rapper. No, he obligated to put you on. Niggas in the hood be want you to put them on, write their lyrics, invest in the property for them, get the lawyers, do everything. Just because we from the same hood, right? So Grape Street is a hood, it's too big to put every single member on. You got to put the people on that got the power and the influence. And when you put them on, they going to stay on. And then they can put everybody on. They're supposed to trickle down. You don't supposed to bird feed your homies. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you ain't a hustler like that, and you just a goon, all right, then hey, come on. I'm finna put you with the security, right? Rock with me, get your bag. But the hood, too, you can't afford 1,000 security guards. Grape Street's probably like 1,000 deep. Right? So it's a tricky game. That's why you see most people, like smart people like Chief Keef, they take their small circle that they rocking with, they few little grooves, they inner circle, and lead the hood. Because when you from a big hood, ain't no way you can feed every single member. Right? And it's gonna be members that you ain't feeding or it ain't trickled down to them. That's goons and with it, and will book your ass. And it's different generations in the hood. So it'll be a nigga that didn't even grow up with you. Just heard about you or used to see him when they was a young nigga. Or a nigga that was older than you and just seen you grow up as a little nigga. Right? So I guess at this point, when it's going down like this, man, it's like, you got to get your bag and leave. Because you can't feed everybody. And it's always going to be somebody alone that going to want to extort you and test you. Right? Unless you just got that cold reputation, unless you got a King Von type of reputation, right? Something like that, right? Niggas ain't gonna play with you. It ain't gonna be a robbery. It's gonna be an unaliving because they know what the get back gonna be so cold. You feel me? Niggas gonna try to make it a mystery. But I feel like he got booked. Because he had a little smut on his name. And probably he ain't feeding the wolves, but I can't blame him. I don't know the history of that hood. I ain't from Grape, so I don't know if he never did nothing or done something. But I know if I'm a rapper in that position, I'm finna feed the hood. I'm finna break the hood off 1 or 2 good times, maybe 3 times. I might, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna come to a point quick with y'all got to be doing something with the money. I can't easily be breaking niggas off bread and you going to trick it on women and at the strip club and buying cars and a gang of weed and all this. You ain't flipping it. Like, got to become a hustler, right? And if you a jack boy, you ain't a hustler. All right, with this money I give you, hey, use this all the toolies you need. All the cars, the reparies, the little gadgets, technologies, upgrade your hustle. If you hitting licks, take this money and set up your operation. Invest it in yourself. If you go live like that, you gotta let niggas know like how you feel comfortable even being a man. When you can't get your own, you gotta look for handouts. Now niggas robbing and got the chain. Now niggas ain't really gonna never get nothing. He gonna take his small little circle that he mess with, and he gonna have a small circle and he gonna get on. He ain't even finna come around the hood no more. Now niggas ain't gonna have no support. Now they feel like he wasn't supporting them now, but now it's zero chance that he support anything. Right? It's gonna be a funeral that need to be paid or something that he probably would have paid, and now it ain't gonna get paid. Right? So it's a tricky game. I kind of see both sides. You ain't feeding the hood, but what's the history? I can't really judge whether the hood is right or wrong because I don't know the history. If he already didn't put bags in the niggas' hands, then niggas is wrong. You feel me? And then, but it only take one YN to say, okay, you put bags in the other home, you didn't put none in mine. Like, I'm front line, I'm a hitter. So it be too many niggas. It ain't no way you gonna identify and be able to take care of all the homies that might even deserve it. That's front lining. You feel me? So, but even if they front lining, that ain't the nigga you want to invest. Like, stop front lining. You know what I'm saying? Enterprise. If y'all gonna bang, right? At least put it up to the mafia level. At least put it up to the big U level. At least. You know what I'm saying? We know big U's facing big time, but that's what gang banging gonna take you anyway. So niggas know the rules when they sign up for this. Gang banging, you gonna go to jail, you gonna get murked. What you doing on that path there? Right? So at least Big U was getting money on his path. He knew the consequences to it. So get to the chili. Get to the chili. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. The most famous gangsters, that's what I want all gang members to realize. First of all, get out the gang. If that is you and that's all you gonna be, all right. But I want you to realize this. All the most notorious gangsters, they had money. And most importantly, they had power. And they could affect shit politically because of the money and the influence. So if y'all really want to be top shotters, it ain't about who up on the scoreboard, silly. It ain't about who got the most packs, silly. It's about who got the most racks. Because we all gonna die and we all gonna take it to the pen one day living this life. So you make it count by getting that bread. You could leave something behind, or at least being a ballin' ass nigga to your last day. Right? So get the bread. So on this situation, I'm undecided whether this was right or wrong. But until then, man, it's your boy Carter Gang TV. You got to drop a little dottage for the YNs. Y'all get out the gang. If not, step y'all game up. It's about getting this chili. You want to be top shotter? Get top chili. You know what I'm saying? Right? And if you a rapper, feed the right wolves. Feed them wolves. Feed the ones that count too. And once you feed the one that count, keep your circle small and stay away from the homies that you ain't feeding. Stay away from, if you ain't feeding the certain homies, don't hang around them, bro. So until then, man, it's your boy Carter TV. It's Carter Gang, and I'm out this time.